world changes soon. Can't get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me too. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just flip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird. Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. People so dumb. People so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues. It's so dumb. I'm a hater cause I can't relate to gay pride. Call me homophobic because I don't wanna date guys. K-tight. I for one am not surprised the world declined along the way. Give trophies to children for losing just cause they decide to play. We exercise our right to vote and hate the politicians. Ay, this is a democracy, it's partly your decision. Ay, this is weird, feels like this a different year. If I identify as a female, then when my balls and penis disappear. Children want a gender switch and hating men is feminist. Depression and anxiety are trendy, we're too sensitive. Invented 80 genders, mad the world is not accepting it. Then gave them more attention than normal women and men can get. What a contradiction, being human is so tragic. Focus on minorities, ignoring all the masses. Hallelujah, everyone. Activism saved the planet. No more plastic straws and paper, just paper straws wrapped in plastic. Congratulations. Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. People so dumb. People so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues. It's so dumb. Look, I get it, it's like the world is going crazy. Seems like a school shooting happens almost daily. The racism, rape culture, hatred that we're facing is way too ingrained for our hashtags to change it. We've become so lazy and complacent, afraid of our generation. We think activism's Instagramming memes and complaining. It's a problem when there's actually actions you could be taking, but you're triggered so you just cry like a baby. Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid. People so dumb. People so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues. It's so dumb.
We out?
Yep.
We motherfucking out. Right. What up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. And I'm here with motherfucking Greg.
What up, y'all?
And we gonna have this shit on the road here. We gonna run until I got nothing else to talk about. or we fall out. Whatever comes first.
Right. Right.
First shout out to all the new listeners, all the new followers. Even my haters. You know I love y'all.
Gotta love them.
Because I know you still listening.
Gotta love them. Gotta show them some love.
Shout out to Don Cody and Jessica Calhoun, the Eargasm crew, the bus, all the local bands, all the local people. You got any news? Anything new going on there, Greg?
Nope, not at all. Nothing. Goddamn COVID.
I know that the comedy scene opening up a little bit out in Cleveland. Y'all need to check out the Eargasm Facebook page. They got some comedy shit going on tomorrow night. Mike Copenhager and some other people. And actually, Mike, the one dude, Mike, and the professor that was on today, his name was Robert Alexander. They grew up in Niles.
Yeah.
They come from around here.
That's awesome.
Because the one dude, like the Robert, him and I were talking backstage, and he, him and I I forget how we got on the conversation, but, I told him, I just don't understand, I came up from nothing, I had nothing, You know, my dad was a dope head. My mom was pretty much a single mom. You know, I came out the Camel Projects, and I ain't doing too bad for myself now, so I don't understand why nobody else can do. And he was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. I don't understand why nobody can do it either. Because, you know, we grew up in Niles and this and that. You know, I worked my ass off for everything I got, you know. And you know, I'm a first generation college, you know, graduate, this and that. And he was like, I don't get it either. And as soon as we had that conversation, I was like, oh, you guys are fucked.
Yeah. y'all picked the wrong one.
But, I mean, he was I liked him better than a lot of the other, I guess, guests that have been on there. They're not downing anybody. You know, we have all good guests. But he had the most open-minded, I guess way about him. Even though he wrote a book on, you know, the Electoral College, and he's obviously one of the experts on it. He you know, made it clear that he wasn't the only expert on it, and that he wasn't, you know, that there wasn't anything definite there. You know, he wasn't just like, this is the way it's supposed to be. The Electoral College needs to be thrown out. We have to go to this. You know, he cited different facts and everything in different instances. And I caught him up on a couple things, too. And, you know, then the guys kind of steered it away. But, you know, you see that in a lot. You know, just like the dude from NASA kind of two-stepped around things. You know, there's certain shit you could say and certain things you can't say. And you can kind of pick that out.
Right.
Especially with the NASA dude, you know, Lord forbid, you know, it took him damn near the whole show for him to even admit that he was a Republican, and that just blew everybody's mind, because not only did he work for the government, NASA, and he's friends with all the you know, the Democrat and whatever the fuck you want to call him on her squad. Like, he's black. Fucking love it. Fucking loved it. You know, that made up for all the two-stepping around questions that even, you know, I was like, fuck it. You know, he said, I was like, what did you say? What did you say? He was like, my job and certain things don't let me put out my political beliefs or whatever, but, you know, I'm just, because I noticed, like, every time they try to say something snowflakey, he was just, like, kind of doing that. Like, he wanted to say something, but he couldn't.
Right.
I was like, oh, look at that. You'd be surprised nowadays, man, that, how many people are just, you know, they feel the same way that conservatives feel or Republicans feel, but they're just afraid to say it anymore. And then, you know, you get these extreme Democrats that push the whole fear thing that it's the other way around. They project it off on people. I watched that while doing a little bit of boning up on the Electoral College today. I fell across this video. A different professor. She was a professor at Princeton and another college, and I didn't like the headline that was on it, because it was basically a degradation to the BLM movement. It said the BLM is tearing apart, you know, the nuclear family, or pushing the nuclear family, whatever the fuck that is, and other bullshit. And it wasn't really just about BLM. You know, she did talk about the Black Lives Matter movement. She also talked about the 1619 Project and a lot of other, you know, parts of what's going on. And she made a lot of very, very good points. And I don't want to say it was a black thing, because she was black. But it has to be, you know, this extreme Democrat thing that's ingrained in some of these people that they don't even realize. Because you have no clue how fucking quick, especially the black folks on, you know, the Eargasm Squad fucking got triggered when I posted, you know, I shared the video with them just to take a look. Because I captioned it this has a different take on the 1619 Project. Because they're big proponents of the 1619 Project, which is, this heavy push of the slavery, racism, reparations shit, and the pushing of the history. A lot of it is good. A lot of it pushes history, but they use a lot of history to kind of push their agenda, which is ultimately black supremacy. The one guy, Robert, he made a good quote. I can't remember who it was from, but he said the man was asked one time, so what do black folks want? What do you guys want out of this? You've gotten your rights, you've gotten this and that. What else do you guys want? And the person who replied and said, we want what you guys want. Well, in the eyes of these heavy racial extremists and shit like that, white people want white supremacy. So if you want what white people want, you want black supremacy, and that is not equality. In that right there makes everything equal. Okay, you want black supremacy, they want white supremacy. Shut the fuck up, you're equal. Either you don't have neither one, or you have both. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have one or the other because there's going to be constant bickering. And that's where we're at now. I mean, this, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the fucking face. This whole movement, this whole, now going on 2 years looks like, has set back civil rights hundreds of years. Fucking Rosa Parks would kick the fucking leader of BLM in the dick. She would slap her with her own dildo. Because you do know the founders were fucking dykes. And that is not derogatory towards lesbians. They're fucking Marxist dykes. Fuck them. Yeah, Harriet Tubman was fucking sending everybody back to the railroad. Catch the bus, fuck the railroad. They're pushing for re-segregation. And nobody gets that.
That's fucked up.
When you have all black schools, but you can't have an all white school, the only difference in racism there is that the black people or the white people didn't tell you to have your own school. You told you to have your own school. You dumb fuck. You know how many years, how many people got their asses whooped just to get them schools mixed? Listen to that cunt Kamala Harris. I was in the second class that was fighting to get the schools intermixed. Isn't that the fucking pot called the kettle black? Now, bitch, you talking about, no, we gotta have our own this and we got, what? Oh my God. It drives me fucking, like, the contradiction, and then, like, it's like people just don't see it. Like, people just don't fucking see it. People love calling Donald Trump a racist. And the only thing that I can even see that stems back to even before the immigration, they love bringing up the fucking New York 5, whatever the fuck 5, Central Park 5, which I brought up before. He still hasn't apologized to them motherfuckers. And I think them kids, them men are doing an apology because they spent some years in jail and they were wrong. It wasn't because of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump talked a lot of shit about these kids. And it was supposedly proven that they were innocent. So, I'm a firm believer Trump owes them motherfuckers an apology. But that was it. And it was because he called them animals. It wasn't because they were black. It was because he thought they raped and killed this fucking woman.
Wow.
Nobody ever puts that part in there. It's just Donald Trump called these black kids animals. Okay, let's take black out of there. Donald Trump called these kids animals. Why did he call these kids animals? Because they raped and killed a woman. And when they do add that part in, it's always a white woman. What the fuck does that matter? None at all. None at all. But Joe Biden can be in Congress saying we don't need any niggers or any more big shots in Congress. Donald Trump's a racist. He's against Mexicans. No, that's a racist statement, motherfucker, because supposedly he's against illegals, and those ain't just Mexicans. It's the stupidity of the whole thing, man. And then, there's one dude, he ain't really a part of the eargasm thing, he just kind of chimes in. But, he's constantly, like, we rubbed each other the wrong way off the rip. And he's constantly trying to, his argument constantly is illogical. That's illogical. You're not logical. So why should I listen to this if you're your questions are illogical? Just because you say something's illogical doesn't mean that your logic is logical. By his standards, if the first premise of anything is false or has a little bit of, something wrong with it, which could be the smallest little thing, then it doesn't deserve to be looked at or nothing. Well, you dumb closed-minded fuck. If I'd never fucking kept going in and doing, that's how you learn what's right and wrong. That's how, if this dude is saying this, and this, every lie got some truth in it. Every lie got a good 50 to 75% truth in that shit. Be smart enough to weed out the bullshit. So you take this person's bullshit, it's just like you watch CNN, you watch Fox, and you watch something from across the world. Then maybe you'll get a clue on what the fuck's going on. But if you just dismiss everything at the first little sign of, I don't like that, or I think that's wrong, or, that's something, then you're a fucking moron. And then, well, you cite your references, you cite your this and that. I ain't doing your homework. I already got the knowledge. I'll tell you something so I can share knowledge that I found out. If you don't want to accept it, that's your ass. What do I say all the time, Greg? Don't believe a fucking word I say. Not a damn thing. Do your own research. Do your own homework.
Right.
I could be wrong. A wise man, knows that he could be wrong. That's another thing he tried to call me on, because I say a lot of times, supposedly this happens, supposedly that happens. Well, that just means you don't know and you don't do your research. No, that just means that I'm smart enough to know that I could be wrong, or whoever the fuck shit I'm reading could be wrong. So why paint myself in the corner? I am not a know-it-all, contrary to what people think I think. Fuck. But, and that kind of goes into this whole Columbus Day shit. And I don't know why this irks me so bad. It does. This Columbus Day thing irks the fuck out of me. Of all the fucking shit people can piss and moan about, this just is like the topping on the cake of the taking down the Cleveland Indians fucking thing, and the Redskins thing, and and the fucking whole Mount Everest. This is the topping on the cake to me, man. Look, Christopher Columbus was Italian. He was white. The boats was the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and there was another one I don't even remember the name was, but they don't ever, it must be the shit ship, because nobody ever fucking, puts their name out there. But it came from Spain! Spain! Christopher Columbus didn't have the money. Why do you think he went and fucked the queen for the boats? That's they don't ever say that, but it's pretty much implied. The Queen gave him. You don't just give over 4 yachts.
Mm-hmm.
Four yachts totally stocked. Yeah, you just don't get that up to get spices. That sounds like a big drug deal to me.
Right.
Everybody thinks, Columbus discovered America and he was trying to conquer this and that. Well, wait a minute. Let's just think of this. Now this ain't historical fact or nothing. This is just, something that came up in my high brain. Okay. So we got an Italian dude who goes over to the Hispanic people. Starts fucking around with the Hispanic, the chick who runs the Hispanic, group. She gives him 4 boats, but only 3 are talked about. 1 boat's a hush-hush boat. Now, he's supposed to go to the West Indies, supposedly, to get spices. With 4 big-ass boats. 3 only on paper. What kind of spices is they getting over there? Because the West Indies was pretty close to Asia at the time, and Asia was putting out opium and shit like that there. And what he did was he landed in the Caribbean, supposedly unknowingly, and shit like that there. But what's in the Caribbean? Cocaine and weed. So,
Moving right along.
Let's think about this here. Tell me this does not sound like a ginormous drug deal.
Right.
America was founded on a drug deal. Or could have been.
Oh, shit.
I mean, just think about all that. I mean, just that makes more sense than, this dude just going over and begging for some boats, and the Queen gave him some boats to go get some cinnamon. I'm making some oatmeal, honey. You gotta go around the world to go get me some cinnamon.
Right.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, that's what you're going to call it when he gets back anyway.
And then they talk about they came back a few times and was taking slaves and taking gold. Well, if you really look into the history of the Caribbean, not very much gold there. What they got is Acapulco gold. What they got is Peruvian gold. That's the gold. And I'm pretty sure that they weren't slaves they was bringing back. It was people hauling keys. Those are probably the enforcers making sure the money come back. On that 4th unnamed boat.
There you go.
So, I'm just saying.
It sounds logical. It could happen.
But now, if we go by the history books, again, if anybody should be mad at Columbus, it should be the Puerto Ricans and the Caribbeans. The Caribbean peoples, whatever the fuck, the islanders. It's the islanders! Because, again, just happened to going into all this Indian shit, and I found out that, that the Puerto Rican Indians was on mainland America, too. So, I can talk about that shit now. That's the Taino tribe, and the Akawaka, whatever the fuck awkward fucking tribe it is. Those were the tribes down there. Those are the ones that were supposedly enslaved. But again, Puerto Rico was the shopping mall of slavery. So just think about that there. Now, if you look, nobody wants to look at the other end of history, though. Because we're finding out more and more. And I mean, I think it was common knowledge, just people just, because we didn't have the internet or nothing, people kind of were trying to cover it up. It's not so easy now. But, yeah, America was, first of all, the name America came from the Latin American people. And there was Amarca or some shit like that. And some weird fucking name, but it was almost America. And being that the white people couldn't say it, whatever the fuck it was, it became America pretty much. But, yeah, America was pretty booming before the white people came here. the white folks, the European folks, you know how they always make it look like, you know, the Plymouth Rock, and there was some Indians here and there, and you know there was just this little colony of white folks. No. Because first of all, before that, you know, and you know, as I kept digging, I got further and further back. We'll go closest to the Pilgrims. Before the Pilgrims were the Vikings. You know, and don't tell me, no, you know, these fucking Bible thumpers were more beasts than some fucking Vikings. You gonna tell me these 2-3 boats of fucking Pilgrim Bible thumpers we're gonna kick ass? We're gonna run down the Indians more than the Vikings? Have you watched any of the Viking fucking documentaries? The Berserkers? Shit like that? You know, their God, let's see, Christian God, you get punished by burning. Their God, you burn in honor. You know, just think about that. Just think about that. So, you know, the Christians' worst fucking hell is heaven to the Vikings. If you want to look at it in that aspect. And then, before the Vikings, we had the Aztecs and the Incans. We had the South Americans. So we had Mexicans and Peruvians and all them fucking people, Guatemala, all them people down below who's trying to make it across the border. They were here. But wait, there's more. Because nobody understands how all these Mayan temples and Aztec temples and different other, you know, I'm just using them as examples, but there was a bunch of other tribes too, like, you know, the Incans and other ones. But how they are across the world, but really, really strike a fucking resemblance to the pyramids in Egypt. You know, the Aztec and Mayan temples and the Inca temples, they were pyramids. They just didn't have the pointy top. You know, they had their serpent gods. They had their dog-headed gods. All of them had, you know, they were different names, but they were pretty much the same fucking gods they were worshiping. You know, in Egyptian fucking hieroglyphics, they show helicopters and spaceships and tanks. If you look into the Mayan shits, you know, they got fucking spaceships and fucking shit, you know. I got one of them on my fucking wall right now. It's a carving of one of the Mayan, I guess they call him it's supposed to be Quetzalcoatl. What the books are telling us, it's him emerging from a snake's mouth. But really, what archaeologists say is an interpretation of the lizard people. and there's another one of you know, they're trying to say that it was just a burial chamber picture, but it looks awfully like this fucking dude in a spaceship with his feet on pedals, his hands on levers, and something over his fucking face. So how does that happen? How does that happen? How do all these American shits, and then even in Lovelock Cavern in Colorado, in the Grand Canyon. Remember I told you about that cave that has all different kind of religious shit from all over the world that just shouldn't be there. Yeah. So how did all this shit get there? Well, if you start doing a little bit more studying into Egyptian, how would you call it, commerce. The Spanish and all them weren't the first ones to start floating around in the fucking water. And the Egyptians had fucking boats that were almost identical. Just, you know, they had their different styling. But in the fucking, the whole, the what do you want to call it? The structure, the whole makeup the whole way it was designed, the whole design of their boats were pretty fucking similar to the Viking boats. You know, the Vikings had that big ramming thing in the front. The Egyptians had that big ramming thing in the front. The Vikings had the fucking weird kind of pointy front that kind of sloped back and went around. The Vikings had the same shit. You know, the Egyptians had fucking like different Egyptian gods. The Vikings had their different fucking Viking gods right on the fronts. So, if you look into their travels and their commerce and their trade routes, you find out that the Egyptians had trade with the South Americans. Had trade with South Americans all the way up to damn near Mexico. So that puts a damper again on Columbus and the whole pilgrims and all that shit. And that puts a damper on the Vikings. So, now we think about it. Egyptians. Black. Black. Queen of Sheba married King Solomon. Jesus talked about him, if you want to believe in that. The great King Solomon. You know, he liked them little some chocolate. So, them folks, black folks, sand people, all over here. So, the pilgrims landed on a shopping mall. The pilgrims landed or a project. You know, Columbus landed on the suburbs. You don't want to say he discovered America? Fine. He found it. You know, and that makes more sense to me anyways. You know, because I posed that question on Facebook. You know, if we, you know, if there's a planet out there and it has intelligent alien life on it, did we discover it? There's native aliens on that bitch. Or did we just find it? We found it. And my nephew tried to argue with me about this. You show me one instance. No, you're right. He didn't discover America. Just like you didn't discover the fucking store down the street on that new road you took.
There.
But you found that new fucking store down the street.
Yeah.
And now you can shop there with the rest of the folks. So, I mean, it just, you know, Columbus supposedly, if you go into history books, because I got into it with a dude who says he taught history for 33 years. But, you know how I feel about that. But, you know, I guess, you know, Columbus committed a bunch of atrocities. And again, you know, you can't just blame the one man. First of all, Columbus was doing his job. He was set to go do a job. You know, I made fun of it and the whole drug deal thing. You know, that's not the way it was. But he was set to go do a job. You know, he didn't have the money. He didn't have the boats. He had a job to do. He went and did what he had to do and he came back. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying he did his fucking job. You know, we got a lot of, I mean, people look at our military and the shit that we do from our side of it. We're freedom fighters. We're doing good. We're for democracy and freedom. But the other side of the coin, these motherfuckers like, fuck America. These fuckers are coming in and fucking up, bombing our shit, taking our oil, doing this and that. So, I mean, just depends on what side you're on. You know, and again, people are mad at Columbus, but not the Queen of Spain. You know, and then, you know, they want to bring up all these other, you know, 90% of anything that we have been taught about our history of this whole Spanish shit, Spain did it. And nobody's fucking mentioning them. But with that, we're going to take a quick break. It's the 10 o'clock hour. We'll be back in about 15.
fuck you, Vegas. Hey yo, 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 fuck you, Vegas.
Face.
Beat.